Before I begin today's video, this is your friendly reminder that 1 week ago, last night, I had a dream. A dream that consisted of the Buffalo Bills making it to the Super Bowl. That is all. Go Bills. Good morning, happy Saturday, everyone. Yes, as of right now, that dream that I had 1 week ago, as of last night, still is holding true. I want to keep saying that as often as I can in my videos because the Bills make it to the Super Bowl. I'm hoping somebody from the Bills organization sees this and I am then therefore awarded Super Bowl tickets. That is, listen, how else? Listen, people are finding crazy ways to get to the Super Bowl nowadays. Why not? Of course, here's the thing. If the Bills went to the Super Bowl, and I was given tickets for it, I would highly consider going. However, I would have a much better use for Super Bowl tickets. And by that I mean, I know exactly who I would give them to. If that makes sense. That or, if I did go though and I was given 2 tickets, I would actually use that as my shooting my shot. That'd be great. That'd be pretty sweet. Okay, enough of the pleasantries. Believe me, listen, you saw the title of the video. You know what today is. It's still playoff time. We're in the Divisional Round. And we got 2 very big games today. 2 very important games today. If you recall a week ago, when I did my top 11 Super Bowl matchups I want to see, I mentioned that 2 of the matchups I wanted to see included the Broncos and the Seahawks because they were both number 1 seeds, and it would be a rematch of Super Bowl 48. And that was, what number did I have? I think I had that one 10, I think. I had that fairly low on the list because, listen, they're both number 1 seeds. Of course, that would be the most likely to make it to the Super Bowl because that's how it works. You're number 1 seeds. It's natural that both number 1 seeds would be the most likely to make it to the Super Bowl. That's just how it works. Now, the other Super Bowl matchup I wanted to see that was actually number 2 on the list was the Bills and the 49ers. Simply put, of the teams that are in the playoffs, I have to admit, those 2 teams are my favorites that are in right now. They are. Between the people and the coaches involved, as well as the overall organizations themselves. And that's not to say, yes, I don't like the Steelers and I do like the Eagles, but I'll give them credit. Their organizations, very solid. They are. But in terms of the organizations I like the most as a whole, yeah, I like the Bills. I like the 49ers. I will admit, though, it did break my heart as a George Kittle fan when in the game last weekend he got injured and will be out for the rest of the playoffs. That's sad. It's probably no secret. George Kittle is one of my favorite players in the NFL. The guy actually invented a holiday. National Tight End Day. Tight ends all over the world have scored touchdowns. Wow. Okay. I had to do that. Shout out to George Kittle. Actually, shout out to George Kittle and George Kittle's wife. I forget her wife's name at the moment. They have a podcast. It's actually the Kittle Things. That's what it's called. The Kittle Things. That's a great podcast. Shout out to the Kittles. So, I suppose I'm actually in a bit of a bind. Because today, by the end of it, by the end of today, either one of those Super Bowl matchups that I want to see is coming true, or neither one of them is. It is possible that the Seahawks beat the 49ers and the Broncos beat the Bills, and therefore, you get my number 10 Super Bowl matchup I want to see. It's possible that another reason why I picked the Bills and the 49ers, they're both 6 seeds. Fine, I'm wearing the number 6 jersey right now. They're number 6 seeds, and they're my favorite team, and they're both my favorite teams in the playoffs. So, yeah. It is possible that both these teams could actually pull off upsets today. Especially Buffalo. San Francisco, it'd be difficult, but it's possible. However, it's also possible Buffalo beats Denver and Seattle beats San Francisco. And either one of these Super Bowl matchups that I want to see is coming true by the end of today, or neither one of them is. That's literally where we're at right now. I mean, simply because I had the Seahawks Broncos at 10 and the Bills 49ers at 2, yeah, I would like to see the latter a little bit more. If it wound up happening, but again, if it wound up happening to be the former, I'd be okay with that too. It's just really difficult for me to... This is actually really tough. Here's the thing. Can the Bills and the 49ers win both of their games today? Yes. Is it going to be very hard to do so? Also, yes. In the case of the Bills, remember, since both the Bills and the 49ers are 6 seeds, they have to go to the visiting team. Now, Buffalo going to Denver, a.k.a. Mile High Stadium, a lot of athletes have trouble, breathing up there because you're a mile high. Here's the thing. Anytime I've ever been to Denver, I personally have never noticed the thinner air in the Denver area. It's when you get further into the mountains I definitely noticed it. Again, I went to Dillon, Colorado in the summer of 2024. That place was legitimately hard for me to breathe. Like, really and truly. I'm actually kind of surprised there were instances I had a good night's sleep up there. That's how thin the air was. But, I persisted through it. Anyway, I climbed to the top of Shrine Pass. That alone is worth, some grown man points right there, But the point is, I noticed the thin air in those areas. And that's the problem everybody has when they play at Mile High. That's just what it is. And in the case of the 49ers, even if they weren't riddled with injuries, again, and even if George Kittle was healthy, going to Seattle is never easy. Like, I have 12th man, that's what I call Seattle Stadium, among my top 3 most difficult stadiums to play in. Right up there with Arrowhead in Kansas City and the Superdome in New Orleans. I say New Orleans, or New Orleans if you prefer. Here's the thing. For 12th man, it's loud. For those of you who don't know, 12th man was always a very loud stadium, but it was after the legendary Beastquake moment where 12th man became like that stadium where it's actually going to be rough to play in. If you don't know what Beastquake is, Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Beast Mode, had a legendary run in their playoff game against the Saints, who at the time were the returning Super Bowl champions. And what Marshawn Lynch did caused such an eruption in the stadium, it actually produced seismic activity. Hence the name Beastquake. I mean, I don't think you're going to get a moment quite like that in this particular game unless Sam Darnold does something insanely crazy good, which could happen. It really could. I mean, listen, say what you want about Sam Darnold, but listen, any bad things about Sam Darnold, that was because he was on a bad organization. Looking at you, Jets. He goes to Minnesota, he's great. He goes to Seattle, again, he's great. I mean, I will be honest, I actually had fairly low expectations for the Seahawks going in this year. I mean, I didn't think it'd be bad, but I really never expected them to be number one seed for the NFC. Not a million years. Oh, okay, not a million years, but you get the idea. I didn't expect it to happen is what I'm trying to get at. But for the sake of the city of Seattle, not to mention and this is a mouthful here, my ex-step-grandmother lives out there, and the fact my uncle's a Seahawks fan, it's great. It's great for the people. It's great for Seattle fans. It's great for the city of Seattle. It's awesome. Just like it's great that the Broncos are the number one seed. It's great for the Denver fans and for the city of Denver. And listen, the 49ers and Bills may be 6 seeds, but you better believe the people in San Francisco and Buffalo are happy with where they're at right now. So, again, I'm either going to get one of these Super Bowl picks is more likely to happen, or neither one of them is. That's where we're at. If I let my head do the thinking for me, yeah, it would make sense that both number one seeds win today, because it would show why they're the number one seeds to begin with. However, I'm a man who has more often than not thought with my heart. And while, yes, there were plenty of times where it definitely went and bit me in the rear end, I think I feel just confident enough to say that both the Bills and the 49ers are going to win. I do. I mean, listen, I literally started this video reminding you all that I literally had a dream that the Bills made it to the Super Bowl. That alone should have given away that I was at least going to pick the Bills today. But you know what? Why not double down? Why not say that listen, the things that people are concerned with the Seattle Seahawks is, again, Sam Darnold. Yes, I mentioned Sam Darnold played great earlier, but he hasn't quite been the most consistent, where Brock Purdy of the 49ers has been very consistent. They may be out George Kittle and Fred Warner, but they still got Christian McCaffrey. They still have Trent Williams. That's actually really huge. No pun intended, because Trent Williams is a big guy who's a lineman. Who's an offensive tackle. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to second guess myself because, could that really? It could. Really? I mean, I don't see why it couldn't. I mean, listen, there have been plenty of instances of, teams that didn't win their division but were still wild cards who not only made it to the Super Bowl but won. I mean, it happened to the 2000 Ravens. It happened to the 2000, 2001 Ravens. It happened to the 2007, 2008 Giants. didn't happen for this. I want to say it happened to the 2013-2014 Seahawks, because I'm pretty sure the NFC Championship game was in San Francisco. Was it? Shoot, I forget. But the point is, wild cards making it to the Super Bowl and winning, not remotely unheard of. Not even close. In fact, they wind up making for some of the greatest stories in the history of the NFL. Like, for real, you can't tell the story of the NFL without stuff like that happening. You can't. You know, people say, like, when it comes to players that are in the Hall of Fame, like, you can't tell the story of the NFL without a Deion Sanders, or without a Tom Brady, or without a Ray Lewis, or without a Shannon Sharp, or without a Brett Favre. Like, you can't, like, oh, you know, this is my generation, so, yeah, I said those names, but, you know, eventually a day will come where, I mean, for sure you're not going to tell the story of the NFL without George Kittle. You're not going to be able to tell the story of the NFL without Christian McCaffrey. You're not going to be able to tell the story of the NFL without Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy or, you know, Dawson Knox. I got Dawson Knox up there. Or Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes or Jason Kelce. Yeah. So, take the information what you will. But, I mean, listen. For sure, I'm definitely doubling down on the Bills winning. Know that. I mean, again, I literally had a dream that the Bills were going to the Super Bowl. That's all you need to know right there. And you know what? Kittle may be out, but he's going to be there in spirit. I mean, listen, it's George Kittle. He's awesome. So is Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, who are all injured right now. But you know what? The 49ers find ways to win, just like they did against the Eagles last week, and they're going to do it at 12, man. I hope you all like this video. If you'd like to share on the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble. This video before we guys watch the show video. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, James, we're here to lend. Always about. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. Go Bills.